You're not muted. Hello, Willow.
Yeah, Willow's there. Hey, John.
Hey, I liked it better when you were muted.
Let's just all make everybody think we're muted and just lip sync all night long.
Hey,
we'd
it worked for
lose all our viewers.
It worked for Milli Vanilli for about a year.
Yeah.
Hello, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. Welcome to the show. I said Sarah, not Alexa.
Welcome to the show by Cody Johnson on Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop.
Why do you have Joe D. McPhee introducing music on your thingy?
That wasn't Joe D. McPhee.
Sounded a lot like him.
It did kind of sound
Samuel,
like him.
what's in your wallet?
If it's the one that says bad motherfucker, you better give it back.
Okay, that explains why it doesn't get turned off.
Yeah. Oh. So how has everyone's week gone?
Slowly.
I heard that.
Too quick.
I smoked a corned beef.
Okay. Some things we can't talk about on this show. So
I bet that was really difficult to roll.
You got to get really big rolling papers. And
how the hell do you keep it lit?
a lot of flame. Propane torch helps. Okay. But anyway, put it in a crock pot yesterday. Crock potted it for 10 hours maybe. It's great. And I just bought a cabbage today and put some carrots in with it. So I got cabbage and carrots downstairs. And of course, Irish beer. No, well, Sam Adams. He's kind of Irish.
Okay.
And none of us are wearing green today, are we?
I
beg
green in my shirt here.
Oh, do you?
Your pardon. I've got a Bloody Mary and it's got green.
Well, you tell Lindsay to wash that shirt and get that green out.
Oh no, this is one of my favorite shirts.
I did actually, in case y'all did, I'm not wearing my regular brown sweatshirt for two reasons. One, it's St. Patrick's Day and I wanted to wear some green. And two,
That looks brown.
It's in the dryer. It does look kind of brown, doesn't it? It's kind of.
Well, you do have the green screen going in the background. That does affect lots of things. So this shirt here, you'd be able to see a lot more colors if I turned off the green screen. And of course, then you'd be able to see my face better too. So that everything has a drawback to it.
Well, Dan, I found something very interesting. I was watching the latest episode of Star Trek Picard today.
There we go.
Yes.
And it was directed by a lady named Lee Thompson.
I know that name. Can't remember how, but I know that.
Back
name.
to the Future Mom.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
She's going to be at a...
Howard the Duck, Hot Babe.
Yeah.
Hey.
She's going to be
That's where I know her from.
She's going to be at the Huntsville Comic Show that we'll be going down to in April. And I'm going to have to go stand in line and talk to her now.
Well,
because it was probably one of their best episodes of Picard so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, according to Facebook, somebody posted that Stacey Abrams played the world president on another Star Trek show.
Discovery. That's who that was.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. When the door opened and it showed the president of Earth, I went, I know her. Now it makes sense. Yeah.
That's not Linda Carter.
Yeah.
And apparently we have some midterm elections or something coming up here soon. So
Yeah.
Well, relatively soon. It's spring. The elections aren't until fall, so we're already getting phone calls.
I was going to say ours got pushed up. Oh, yeah, there she is.
And still looks just as good.
Yes, she does.
I don't doubt it.
I think I mentioned this before, but on Facebook they keep talking about Indiana Con and all these people that are going to be in it. I mean, anybody who is ever anybody, this has got to be the convention of the year as far as celebrities go.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a geezer con, is it?
No. Well, it's people that you were mentioning on the Star Trek
Yeah.
going to be there. There's, I know Kate Mulgrew is supposed to be there. Klinger, Hot Lips, and Igor from MASH are all going to be there. And I know the last time I didn't know any dates, and I saw the dates, but I've slept since then. But I'm thinking it's into next month.
Which con?
Yeah, I think it's either called IndyCon or Indiana Con. You'll constantly see sponsored ads for it on Facebook.
We probably won't because we're out of that demographic, out of that market.
Well,
All you got to do is have friends in that area.
mhm.
I mean,
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the latest pictures I've seen of Hot Lips. Let's just say she became addicted to that plastic surgery,
She did.
or the anesthesia for plastic surgery.
Sally Kellerman, the original Hot Lips, who recently passed away, she was kind of looking like Loretta Salette in her final days as well. And
I originally thought it was Sally Struthers the first few times I watched the show, the movie.
See, you said that, and 2 people stopped watching immediately.
Good riddance. Don't come back.
Now, man. So, speaking of celebrities with cosmetic surgery, and I'm not bringing this up because I want to talk about Dolly Parton's cosmetic surgery, but did you read what Dolly Parton wrote when she was nominated to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I have a new respect for her because this is something I've been wanting. Well, I have been saying forever. There are people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that should not be in there. Rap stars, a lot of different, I mean, there's country stars, there's different ones that it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you want it to be a Music Hall of Fame or the Rap Hall of Fame or R&B Hall of Fame or so on and so forth, that's fine. And I've seen several people comment on it since what she released to the press, and there's a lot of like-minded people, but I'm glad she said something about it.
And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame came out with something about that today. While commendable that you have declined the opportunity, it is not your choice if you're going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It is up to the members of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to decide if you're going to be in there. So she declined it, but they're going to put her in there anyway.
Well, and if they do, they do. But you know what? She had her 15 minutes of fame about the whole. And
she needs another quarter of an hour. You know?
Well, the thing about it is I'm sure she probably had that way of thinking about it all along.
Oh, yeah.
Being that it never involved her before, she just never had a reason to speak up about it. Now, this is her way of speaking up about something only concerning her. And she did it very, well, I was going to say diplomatically, but actually she did it a whole lot better than that.
Graciously.
Very graciously, yes. And she's that type of person.
Yeah, she's a national treasure, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, I have been watching that girl since she was a teenager. I swear.
Dan, did I tell you about that story she told on Jimmy Fallon about
Mm,
growing up? And, would be on the TV station up in Knoxville,
yeah,
singing and all that.
yeah.
And, they paid her, so much. And one time they paid her a little extra, because she was so good and they were demanding her to be there. So she took the family up to Gatlinburg to eat at the pancake place. And this man came over and said, "Aren't you the little girl? Can I sit down with you?" And, so, he sat down around the table and everything. And he got done. He got up to walk away. He walked up to the register and he talked to the lady at the register for a minute. She waved at him like he was waving by. They waved back at him. And he walked on out. When they got ready to leave, Dolly was telling them that he told them that he was with them. They were going to pay for his meal. Yeah.
I thought it was going to go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're like just dumbfounded. So, they go out and they're going to walk up and down the street in Gatlinburg. And they see the old man standing on the corner. And they came up to him and says, "Hey, why did you do that?" He got all mad and enraged and says, "If you'd have asked, we'd have paid for your food. You didn't have." He started hitting Dolly around the head and in the chest with his cane. Jimmy Fallon was like, "Oh my God, were you hurt?" She said, "Well, these two big lumps came up on my chest and they ain't going down yet." I swear to God, you can find it on YouTube. She told the story.
Oh, I've heard her tell some. Well, I started to say whoppers, but in context, that would not be the right word to use.
Look up Dolly Parton on Jimmy Fallon, and you can hear her tell the story. She had Jimmy right there on the hook, just leading.
Reeling them in.
Yeah.
Hook, line, and sinker.
It was so bad that they cut away. They cut off, showed the band, showed the audience. They couldn't show Jimmy. They probably had to cut his mic.
I would say so, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's one of my favorite Dolly stories.
The one that I remember the most with her was being on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. This would have been late 70s. And can't really repeat what Johnny said about her back then. But it was totally Johnny Carson, totally off the cuff. And I think actually shocked Dolly. Of course, she took it all in good spirits, but
Trying to remember.
Well, if her name had been Joanna, he'd have probably proposed to her.
There was some show had Dolly Parton in it, and she was talking to the announcer. And it may have been that Johnny Carson one you're talking about, but I can't quite remember. He goes, "I'd like to be upfront about something," and the guy that's interviewing her goes, "Well, you're one of the most upfront people I know."
Oh dear.
Well, what Johnny said was something a little different, but it had to do with that same part of her anatomy.
I remember a lot of remarks that just, you know, the censors were asleep at the switch on some of this stuff.
It
Uh,
was a late night show, but
hey, I have gone back and watched some of the Dean Martin roasts, and I've having seen the edited versions on TV when I was a kid, and watching the unedited ones now, I can understand why a 2.5 hour show got knocked down into an hour.
Oh yeah, and some of the best ones was Foster Brook and Don Rickles.
Uh huh.
mhm.
Oh yeah.
Red Fox. That was something that had to be edited a lot. what he said.
One of my favorite Red Fox stories was about a Saint Bernard. They raised his wife wanted a Saint Bernard, and as the dog got bigger, he says, "I'm gonna tell you right now, Saint Bernard does not poop in the house. They don't. They do not poop in the house. They shit in the house." Oh.
Oh.
Another one that surprised me, of course, everybody always talks about Red Fox, his stand-up comedy being really filthy and such, but was Gabe Kaplan.
Yeah.
His actual stand-up comedy, much the same, and he was on one of those Dean Martin celebrity roasts, and I was watching it from a DVD, so of course they had all the outtakes and uncensored portions and that, and I'm kind of surprised with hey, it's Gabe Cotter, Mr. Cotter, but yeah, Mr. Cotter could be just as down and dirty as
Oh yeah.
the rest of them.
Well, I'll tell you another comedian that everybody thought was just so super straight lace, but when he got behind the microphone, he was plumb raunchy. That's the late Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Even the girls from the show said, as we got older, he got rougher. When the kids were young, he would control his language. Shit, once them girls got big enough and the twins were offset, it was bad.
I always thought he probably enjoyed that part that he played on Quantum Leap because he got to play this really bad dude. Not a villain, but just an unpleasant person, which is such a contrast to what he had to play normally.
Oh yeah,
So I bet he really enjoyed doing that.
yeah. Well,
I've still enjoyed though a lot of comedians PG rated humor, and there's actually some of them talking about Gabe Kaplan. When you watched Cotter on TV, he always started off the monologue at the beginning, and then for a while too, the epilogue was him telling his wife a joke.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite ones that he ever told, of course, they were always uncle jokes, and he'd say, "Oh my," and I forgot the actual name of the uncle that he used, so I'll just say Uncle Henry. He said, stayed in this real ritzy hotel, and he stayed in the honeymoon suite. He was checking out, and he left, and he got halfway down the street and realized he left his umbrella there in the room. So he went back, and he went to the guy at the front desk and said, I was just staying here, and I left my umbrella in the honeymoon suite, and I need to go up and get it. It's the only one I got, and the weather's looking bad. He said, "Sir, we've rented out the honeymoon suite to a couple that's just been married." And I I'm not going to go up and disturb him now. If you want to go up there and say something to him, you go right ahead. But being an employee here, and I could get fired if I disturb a couple on their honeymoon. So Uncle Henry said, that's okay. I'll go up there and I'll get it myself. And he goes up to the room and he hears on the other side of the door the honeymoon couple talking back and forth to each other. And the guy's saying, is that your pretty little face I see? And she says, yes, it is. He goes, oh, is that your pretty little ankle I see? And she says, yes, it is. And he says, oh, is that your pretty little knee I see? She says, yes, it is. And Uncle Henry banged on the door and he says, hey, when you get to the umbrella, it's mine. And I, as about G-rated as they come, but they were and I guess you might say they were so bad they were good. But that was one of my.
I was expecting to hear it beat on the door. Don't open it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm tired, guys. I ain't done nothing all day.
Yep. I have done entirely too much all day.
I went to Costco and bought all the stuff I couldn't get last week because they were out of it. And got gas, filled it up. $50 to get half a tank of gas.
Yeah, I did that in my car. Of course, I filled up today, too, at Taco Bell.
So I'm hearing, okay, they're talking about, which is still talk about doing away with the gas tax. But then somebody said here locally, one of our representatives said that could come back to bite you in the keister in the end, and may not actually save you anything. But
how are you going to finance the DOT standing around all day leaning on shovels?
Well, I know, and maybe John might agree or disagree with me, but get his opinion on this too. As far as the reserves that we have here, we have enough reserves that we could open ours up to use it to pull, or if not, at least level off the price.
There's one small problem with that. Russia. They won't release the strategic reserves with Russia making threats the way they have been.
Yeah. They may need it for themselves.
Well, they're trying to cut everything going into Russia, and they found out shutting down the McDonald's didn't do anything there, because now they opened up the bootleg McDonald's that they have in Russia, Uncle something or other they're called.
Uncle Ivan's.
Well, it's after I guess a famous Russian story. I'd know the name if I heard it. I heard it on WBBM today, but apparently all these restaurants are opening up, and
Uncle Herschel.
If you
It's the guy that started Cracker Barrel.
Yeah. No, thinking of the Eddie Murphy movie Coming to America, they had McDougal's that the dad from Good Times ran. This is supposedly what these Russian restaurants are, that are basically the ripoff of McDonald's. They said supposedly they do have golden arches, but they're on their side and not vertical or whatever. I've actually heard the name now. I cannot remember it. But anyway, and then there's another restaurant that's supposedly going to open up, and they're for the people who can't live without their Big Macs or whatever, this is their whole thing for existing. I guess when McDonald's was in Russia, these restaurants were shut down because they were ripping off McDonald's in name and everything else. But now, since the McDonald's are all shut down over there,
I've already said how we hurt Russia. Quit sending them toilet paper.
Yeah. Well, I heard Georgia Pacific's going to stop making toilet paper at one of their facilities now. That came out today too. That could hurt a lot of people. And then you have that Walmart distribution center over in Indianapolis that's been burning for about 3 days now. That's going to be like the tire fire in the Simpsons cartoon.
You know, Walmart does sell tires, so it might actually be partly a tire fire.
Well, they said, imagine anything toxic, any type of fumes toxic that could come from there, probably is coming from that fire.
Well, because they got Walmart has everything: bleach, ammonia, tires, cleaning solvents, paint. Everything in there's plastic. Even the clothing's plastic. It's just.
I don't want to be on another FBI watch list, so I'm not going to comment.
On the ammonium nitrate.
Hey, the garden center's off limits now.
That's why I don't
even. Building.
That's why I don't even go in the garden center anymore.
Oh, there were so many stories of people when they came out to my garden center and said, I need this to take care of this, Creeping Charlie and all that. We don't have it. Well, I'll just go down the road to Lowe's and get it. They don't have it. Well, I'll go to Home Depot. They don't have it. It's been outlawed. And we ended up having a list of different things that used to be normal stuff for weed control and they're gone now.
Because they work.
Yeah. You didn't lick your fingers after you got done applying it.
No.
To the fescue and the Creeping Charlie and everything else, but
Have you ever tried to sell a load of a pallet full of ammonium nitrate to somebody in a box van? Oh my God, the paperwork you got to go through.
Tell me about it. We used to get that stuff by the dump truck load. Bet we can't do that no more. Not without a federal permit.
Well, you can't buy cough medicine over the counter anymore without. What are you buying this for?
Hey, I was looking for Sudafed, even the little 2-pill packets, and I'm going, they don't make that stuff anymore. My sinuses are just going to have to be stuffed up.
Yeah.
Hey, Walmart's finally got the 10% alcohol NyQuil back in.
Yeah, that's because they can't get a liquor license.
Well, you can sell beer and wine.
Yeah, but they can't get a liquor license. Technically, NyQuil is...
it's only 5 proof.
Yeah, still. You get people that'll drink Sterno, they'll drink NyQuil much faster. Except for the ones that don't like licorice.
4 Loko. They had to quit making the high-test 4 Lokos. It was 14% alcohol with caffeine and energy drink stuffs. Drunk off your ass and wide awake at the same time.
It's stronger than my beer.
I think that's stronger than most wines.
It is.
Yeah.
I've seen those little jars of moonshine there at Walmart before. on an end cap of all things. You look at them and you go, "Oh, aren't those cute?"
Mhm. Most of the time, I see those in the liquor stores rather than the grocery stores. No, they have been making something that is not liquor, but it's supposed to have the same alcohol content and taste the same, but it's classified as a wine to get past the restrictions on being able to have a liquor license. And I just look at the stuff and I go, I don't believe cinnamon flavored Ripple's gonna float my boat.
Isn't that called Fireball?
Yeah, that's what they sell it.
Mm,
It's the same sort of label with a slightly different name.
that's what the kids love.
What was it? That lady was sitting there and they had the little heart shaped red hot candies in the bowl for Valentine's Day. She's sitting there eating. Ooh, this tastes just like Fireball. Somebody looked at her and goes, non-alcoholics call that cinnamon.
Yeah.
This is true. Be right back.
All right.
When I go for my walks outside, if I had $1 for every time I seen a little empty shot bottle of Fireball that was probably bought at the Casey's gas station with all the other 99-cent shot bottles that they have there,
See, Bill lives in an area that the gas station sells liquor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, our Save-A-Lot sells liquor now. There's, I can't remember what they call it, but Save-A-Lot's been around here for a long time, and it's always been predominantly in areas. They would pop up in areas of people lower class financially. And now the one downtown that's been there for quite a few years over in Danville expanded. And I'm like, why are they expanding in that? And they got the Save-A-Lot liquor store going in there with it. It's like Dollar General with selling fruits and vegetables, which that's kind of a joke. But
And John, you were right. Our Red Bank Save-A-Lot is gone. I hate it.
I was just thinking about that. So it'd be nice to buy that place, refurbish it, like the Kroger it used to be.
Yeah.
Go in and actually sell like ethnic foods, like a Mexican carnitas, type thing, and do the Italian stuff, and the Cajun stuff.
Well, see, that's what Trader Joe's does, and then they do a lot of organic. But then, they, of course, they also own Aldi's, and but yeah, they
Aldi's was everywhere in Berlin.
Oh yeah.
There were two grocery chains. I can't remember the name of the other one, but the Aldi's was the one everybody went to.
Aldi's owns Aldi's bought out Trader Joe's, but just kept the name.
Well, yeah.
They used to buy them a coffee there when I was stationed in Berlin.
I love I actually got 2 boxes of Trader Joe's Fair Trade Colombian coffee in the kitchen. But yeah, they're based out of Monrovia, California now. But you talked about the Kroger food. It's called Ruler Foods, which it's like a Save-A-Lot, but somehow or another it's owned by Kroger, or the other way around, one of the two. I don't know which, but they actually sell Kroger brand food in this, but it's Ruler, like a school ruler. And we have one of those stores over in Danville, lesser neighborhood, again. and several Aldis.
Yeah, we've got at least one Aldi's. Well, one that I know where is over in Athens, and it's inexpensive. Um, if you buy fresh vegetables there, you pretty much have to use them the same day, because if you wait till the next day, they will have gone off. Now, that's just that one store. The entire chain has a much better reputation, so I don't know what's going on. But I will concede that maybe I've been there on days where, stuff was just approaching its sell by date or whatever. But it seemed like every time we went in there, any uh, fresh vegetables were not all that fresh. The meats were okay; they did look good. There was uh, no hint of anything that had been spoiling. The canned goods were all within a date, well within a sell by date. Had all kinds of stuff in the store. It was just great. But if you bought vegetables from that particular location, you just had to use them up right away. Don't get more than you're going to use in 24 hours, because after that, you going to be throwing your groceries away. So, that's just that one store, and I've never heard of it from any other store. And people that have been shopping at other stores from the same chain tell me I'm full of it. That never could happen, never would happen, and I'm going, well, it did happen. Why would I lie? Nobody's paying me to put them down. It saved us a bunch of money when we went shopping there, but we had to watch what we bought.
The Aldis around here have a pretty good reputation as far as their fruits and vegetables.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the chain as a whole has a great reputation. That one store, that one location, I have never had a good experience with the vegetable aisle. And we shopped there for a couple of years straight before it just became too far to drive. Basically, we could get stuff closer. One of the local small grocery stores started getting in stuff that they were buying from the local farmers, and extremely fresh and extremely good. And the benefit to that was people in the neighborhood were getting paid for what we were buying. So, yeah.
I wish if I had a way to keep it on our trips up to Chicago, when we stop at that one Trader Joe's up in Willowbrook. I've been seeing so much of their ice cream that just looks like it's to die for. But it's like, even I take a cooler with me with some ice packs in it to put our vitamin water and stuff that I take with us. And even with that, it wouldn't keep it, for the trip up. And I mean, it's 4 hours one way. So it's just like, wished I could. And, but someday I'll figure out something else different to at least try to keep it a little bit. But I just know it would mostly melt.
This is true. We just had one of the local farmers markets closed, and within 4 months, it just this week became a gas station. Now I'm sure the farmers market has moved to a different location. I just haven't found out where that is yet. There are 2 or 3 different farmers markets around in this area, and one of them think it's still going strong, but it's almost right downtown in Athens. And then this one was just on the outskirts, and I had seen a lot of people park there over the years. Never went myself. Might be one of the reasons why it closed, because I never went. It seems like when I stop shopping at some store, it gets closed within 6 or 8 months.
So it's
I'm
your
like, what
fault.
am I, Joe Average?
Oh,
Ironically, when I lived in Rockville, Indiana back in the 90s, we had a gas station, which was one of these old 1930s gas stations that had just the, regular and ethyl. I forget what kind. I'm wanting to say it was a Gulf or Shell or something, and it had ceased to be a gas station for a long time. And we had a farmer's market store open up in the same building. Of course, they built on some on the backside and that, and it was like that every year for probably 30 some years, and then they just kind of went out of business about 5 years ago. I don't even know what's in that building now. I know the building is still there, but of course it was small to begin with.
I'm gonna throw something up here, Joe.
What?
Let's see here. Share screen. Click that thing. Click that. Throw that up there real quick. That's the Starbucks over in front of Rock City Gardens. There's the Rock City Gardens.
Yeah.
Okay.
This used to be an old gas station, service station. It was
Yeah.
an actual full service. They added the Starbucks part over here, and of course the little castle looking thing on top. But this part, you can see that building in the back was the gas station garage and everything.
Looks like an old Esso station.
That's what I was thinking, but I can't remember exactly. I'll have to ask some of the people at Chattanooga Picks.
Did you know, depending on what part of the United States you lived in, you either had an Esso, an ESCO, or an ENCO gas station, but they were all the same people.
Yeah. Just heard from Stephanie.
Oh, what'd she say?
She's sorry, but she's not going to be able to make it tonight.
And she'll be here Saturday, but she won't be here next week because she's going to a convention.
Oh.
So is Chris. Oh, we just had somebody jump in. Just heard a
did.
pop. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull them in. Drop that
Holy.
down. She's going to a convention.
Oh.
So is Chris.
Hey, Heather.
Oh,
Hey, darling.
Hi, Heather.
How have you been?
Heard a pop. We're getting an echo from you, Heather. Drop that down. So is Chris.
Hey.
Hey guys,
Hey.
Hey.
I thought I'd drop in because I don't have to work tomorrow and I'm actually up.
Well,
Yay.
you
Yeah.
missed it. We were talking about the SLS rollout tonight.
I started watching that a little bit and it wasn't doing anything, and then I went back to watching what I was watching.
Yeah, it went out and they and it was so neat. NSF got the a view of the space station flying over the VAB.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
And then it actually flew over SLS, and as they panned back on around, there was a full moon behind it.
Yeah, it's a full moon. I'm very happy I'm not at work.
So why are you off work tonight?
I've got my schedule worked out now to where I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday one week, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday the next week. So this was my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday week.
Ah,
And I slept until almost 10 o'clock this morning, so I'm actually awake.
so you do pulling 312s.
Yes.
I remember those days.
It's so, oh my gosh. And this week it's been rough. Like, I'm so tired. I'm walking at least 10 miles a day.
It's easy to do, actually. It is
Com-
easy to do.
Comfortable shoes. Comfortable shoes.
Hey,
Hey,
Michaela.
I've been on my toes all week. I've had transfers because I had to take them up to higher quality of care. It's just been a crazy week.
Roller skates. You need rollers.
I gotta say, Heather, the Skechers Relax Fit shoes work wonders on people that have problems with their feet, and I have flat feet.
I
Rubbity-doo.
wear Brooks Ghost shoes. They're well worth the $125 that I pay for them.
All right, guys, I'll be right back.
Oh, there goes that Taco Bell.
There might be a launch after all.
The price of gas just went down.
Down. New reserves just been tapped.
Yeah.
And what sucks is, okay, so gas is like super expensive. And there was a gas truck that wrecked on 24 today and shut the interstate down for like ever. It wrecked at 10 o'clock this morning and it was still shut down during rush hour traffic.
Couldn't get rid of the people with sponges and buckets.
Yeah.
I just picture.
So it took my husband 2 hours to drive 15 miles.
So I take it there was a gas spill from the tanker.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why.
An SUV hit the tanker and flipped it, trying to swerve to miss another car that was changing lanes.
Oh,
So
one
yeah,
of these days people will learn how to drive. Working
No, they
hard
won't.
towards getting my next
No, they
book
won't.
out.
No.
Then I'll have 4 ghostwriting projects to get rolling. So excited and overwhelmed. Yippee. Yes. Well, congratulations.
I will trust a self-driving car before I will trust most Walmart customers in the parking lot. Okay.
Congratulations, Michaela. I'm very happy for you, but don't work too hard. It's going to be aggravating. You know, you've done this before.
I got a fellow that does he does webisodes, kind of like what we're doing, sort of thing. But he broadcasts gaming stuff, and of course he's got the same problem we have, is that they can't put music and stuff like that to it without.
Mm-hmm.
So I dropped a certain fellow's name that shall remain nameless, but and said, I know a guy who makes music and he doesn't charge much. So
For a phenomenal fee. Yeah, basically, I don't charge much. Just like to know so that I can put a notice on there. Hey, so and so is using this one. You might want to pick another one. So yeah.
So do you have to do you have some sort of copyright that you do with that, or is that
when I upload it, it is automatically copyrighted? Yes, it is because it's online, because it is intellectual property, because I've got my name on it, and I can prove that it's mine. Then it's automatically copyrighted, just like somebody posts a short story or an essay or something like that to a website. That's automatically copyrighted too. You can go to the expense of paying for the, I don't know what to call it, a copyright license, whatever, and get the paperwork if you so desire. But for several years now, most anything that you upload that is original work, you get granted an automatic copyright. So I'm sure there will be people that will be popping in and telling me that I am absolutely full of wild blueberry muffins, but that is the way I understand it. And if I misunderstand it, then I'm wrong. And wouldn't
Did he share any of those muffins with you, John? He didn't share any with me.
Hey, Joe said he was going to be getting beer money off this show. I ain't seen a beer yet. Okay.
Just the ones in my hand.
Well, I know, Dan, when I do a sketch, I talk to a certain good lawyer friend of mine that used to live around here. And through all the hoops and rings of fire that I thought I had to jump through, it comes down to me posting it, much like how you said, my name and the years on it, and that's all I have to do.
Yep. And yours are a lot of yours are fan interpretations of some copyrighted material, but you're not trying to make money off of it. So
oh no, not in the least. I did one of John Rose's. Who draws and writes for the comic strip Barney Google and Snuffy Smith. Last year they introduced a new character, which is supposed to be I'm going to get this wrong and John's going to get me for it. I think it's supposed to be the son of Sparkplug, Barney Google's horse in the comic strip, and his name is Little Sparky. So he looks like a young little version of Sparkplug, and it says Little Sparky on it instead of Sparkplug. Long story short, I drew a sketch on that, and John come in there and gave me a couple really nice pats on the back for my interpretation of Little Sparky. And then somebody a little bit later on messaged me, "Hey, I really love that. Can you sell that one to me?" And I said, "Nope, not this one." And I didn't feel right doing it with that. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. Original artwork is fine to sell, but if you're reproducing something from an existing work and you're not doing it yourself, I mean, you could change it up and make it your own thing and say dedicated.
Yeah, and I could still sell that. If I'm the one doing the work. Now there are some people that go to, well, not me, but actual famous comic book artists. They say, "Hey, can you do a recreation of Wolverine issue 12 or whatever, something that might have a famous cover," which I don't know for Adam as far as Wolverine goes, but just using that as an example. And they will painstakingly go through the whole process, whether they were the original ones that did the cover art on it or not, to reproduce it, to make it look exactly like that, but putting their name on it. And of course, not the original if it was somebody else doing it.
Uh-huh.
And they're still within their legal rights to sell it. Now, the big controversy that was going on for a couple of years were people swiping other people's work, putting their name on it, and then taking it conventions to sell. And Brian K. Morris will talk to you about a certain somebody that was caught doing that and got sent to the Phantom Zone soon afterwards because of it.
So. Mm-hmm. Rightly so. I'll be right back. I just got to take about 3 steps here to the fridge.
Oh, sorry about that. Michaela's getting an OnlyFans. I'm in. Well, just let me know when it activates. John?
I'm Boy Scout. I'm a nice kid. I'm just sitting over here twiddling my thumbs.
Heather's just rolling her eyes like, "Damn it, Joe."
Hey, everybody has their fancies. If that's yours,
Yeah.
go for it.
No,
And I hope
Michaela.
he makes tons of money doing it.
Yeah. No, Michaela. Get with me after the show.
He could make Last Man Standing in a completely different show, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I'd like to stay married, thank you. And out of prison.
It would
Out of
also-
prison.
it
She's
would
the
also-
one. Oh,
Go ahead.
no, I was going to say, you out of prison? No, you wouldn't be the one going to prison. It'd be her. Because you'd be dead.
There are worse ways to get back at somebody besides killing them, let me tell you that.
Why does that remind me of a Monty Python skit?
I don't know. Is your hovercraft full of eels?
No, but I distinctly remember where in The Meaning of Life, they had that skit about they were going to let convicted people convicted of the death penalty choose the way they died.
I'd go by old age.
Old age, yeah.
Which remind.
I don't know if I could post that video on Stupid O'Clock either.
I don't think you should.
I like the Twilight Zone episode where the guy got to choose his death for reading a book. What was it? The Obsolete Man? No. You get to choose the time and manner of your death. But he would only tell his executioner, and his executioner was sworn not to tell what it was, and he invited the judge, and it was to be killed by a bomb at a certain time.
During the trial, of course.
No, during, in his apartment by a bomb at a set time, and then he invited the judge to be there. And he puts the bomb on the table about 10 seconds before it's time to blow up.
Hey, boys, remember me?
Speaking of the Twilight Zone, they were talking today about it was the 100th birthday of radio station WLW out of Cincinnati, Ohio. They were talking about all these people that got their start at WLW, Doris Day, and that. And one of the names mentioned was Rod Serling. And he used to write for the radio station. I forget which story it was, but one of the stories attracted the attention of some people that said, hey, would you like to do these stories on TV? And that's what led to the beginning of the Twilight Zone.
Now, do you know who those two people were that says, would you like to write for it? Desi and Lucy.
Ta-da!
Yeah, they one of his first TV writing gigs was for the Desi and Lucy Westinghouse Theater, and he wrote a couple Twilight Zone type stories, and then they backed him with CBS, but it wasn't through Desilu Studios.
I was going to say, I didn't think Twilight. I mean, I knew they were CBS, but I didn't think they were Desilu.
They weren't Desilu, but they were Desi and Lucy backed him to, told CBS, you need to give this guy a show. And if you don't, we will, and sell it to another network.
I'd take that as a threat.
Yeah. And I finally figured out how Star Trek wound up under Paramount. Lucy bought out Desi in Desilu Studios, ran it for like 5 or 6 more years, and then turned around and sold Desilu Studios to Paramount. And that's how they fell under the umbrella of Paramount. And then Paramount bought the Columbia Broadcast System. Just like Comcast bought NBC bought Universal Studios, and then Comcast bought NBC. And that's why the non-Comcast networks or cable services are having to raise their prices, because Paramount and Comcast went up on all their properties.
Nice going, John.
Okay.
What'd you do, John?
Knocking on wood.
Oh, he's
They've probably been drafted.
Don't make me mute you.
Yeah, they've probably been drafted. Uh-oh. Oh. Hold on a minute. I gotta get it. Oh, shootness.
can't find it.
Oh no, I got a bad case of cuteness I gotta show everybody.
Oh Lord. Aw.
Yeah, my grandbaby. And
She's
now,
wearing green.
yep,
Sweet.
Dad, my grandbaby. Yeah, I can only show it for just a second.
So I see she's doing really well.
Oh yeah, too well. As you see, she's 5 months old and sitting on her own.
I got Granddaddy wrapped around her little finger.
Yep. Problem is, not wrapped as tight as she's got her daddy wrapped around her little finger.
Well, give it time. Is it my imagination, or are we struggling for topics tonight?
We're struggling for topics tonight.
Well,
I can tell you about my day with my 13-year-old niece. Oh boy, are you all excited?
I bought tomato plants and bell pepper plants at Costco today. They had a 3-tub thing for $9. So I spent $20
That
on
doesn't
plants.
sound bad.
Don't plant them before Mother's Day.
Already did. They're already out in the yard.
You had to shovel snow to get to it and everything.
I spent my entire day watching Netflix and diamond painting.
Mm. Oh, have you watched The Adam Project yet?
No, it's on my list. It's on my list because I saw it popped up today.
You got to watch it. It's and the show is not stolen by Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is upstaged
By young Ryan Reynolds.
by a young Ryan Reynolds.
This just popped up on my Facebook.
I still gotta watch.
What the hell is that?
I still gotta watch season 2 of Space Force.
Evidently, John is branching out into Maryland.
That's Maine.
Maine. Okay.
I didn't know there was a Scarborough in Maine. Learn something new every day. At least they spell it right.
Well, you weren't making much money off of that fair, even though you had a theme
I have
song.
a relative. I have a relative in Kansas with the last name Scarborough.
How they spell it?
Same way as yours.
Oh, cool. That's the proper way. You see a lot of people do the sloppy shortcut way.
Like my last name, the way they spell it in Kansas. SMAR. K-E-R. I had to think for a second.
Speaking of your last name, have you spoken with your aunt that I know?
Not since Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. Well, hadn't seen her on my page responding to anything, so.
She's busy. She has a boyfriend.
Ah,
So she's given up her social media and she goes out and does stuff with him and does stuff in the church.
She has a life. Wow.
That's what I got the gather of.
As opposed to the rest of us. We're just all sitting on.
It's out there,
It's
people.
actually pretty interesting.
I know we're all afraid to look out the window, but it is out there.
That's for you and Bill, Dan.
Why do readers get so bent out of shape when a writer has a character fall in love with a different love a good way into the story? Because you're a really good writer and they're really invested in the previous relationship, and you decided to flip that on its head a little bit, and they didn't see it coming.
Michaela, we already talked about this now. We thought you were listening.
Isn't that one of the standard tropes in most books?
I wouldn't say most, but it's not unusual.
I mean, Harry Potter's only got, what, 5 or 6 of them?
Well,
I found out, pick out your best character, give him a good backstory, and kill him in the first chapter.
Way to go, George R.R. Martin.
yeah. Oh, Lord.
What, are we taking lessons from George R.R. Martin now?
I'm not. Although you would think I was, the way I keep letting deadlines go by, finishing this blasted book I'm working on.
Dan, I love deadlines. I do. I love deadlines, especially that whooshing sound when they go flying past.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If I could get just a week where something catastrophic did not happen in real life, where I could actually relax and sit down and type without my brain going too many different directions at the same time for me to concentrate on the story.
Oh yeah. Well,
I could finish this bugger up. I really could. It's just life keeps getting in the way.
I understand about the catastrophic. Heather, I blew my knee out. Yeah.
How did you do that?
I got out of bed.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah, if you don't like your knee, you wouldn't have to blow it out.
I've torn a ligament in my knee that way.
Getting up out of bed.
Yeah.
I got up out of bed. It popped, and I lay on the floor like, okay, now how am I going to explain this?
Your grandson got a golden ticket, and you were so excited.
Michaela, stop listening. Oh, go ahead, Heather.
I had a friend. Her son went to Vanderbilt for an obstruction right as COVID hit back in 2020. And so they sent him home on a feeding tube. And when you're doing 24-hour continuous feedings, you have a pump, like an IV pump for the food, for the feedings. And when she took it home, she didn't pay attention in the hospital when they were teaching her how to use it because she was so overwhelmed. So she got home and started to set it up and accidentally had it going in German. She didn't know German. So I took off from the living room to the bedroom where my computer was to go and look up the PDF for the manual. And
it was in
I
German.
went to get out of bed after finding this manual and sending it to her, and I tore a ligament in my knee and was on crutches for a few days. Got an MRI, found out what I did, went through physical therapy.
No surgery? You got lucky.
No surgery. Just
I
barely.
tore the
Yes.
cartilage and
It's the one
ligaments
that
from
goes
around my
from
kneecap.
the back of your calf to the front of your knee.
That
Ow.
almost feels about where mine is. Starts on the back side of the calf and comes up on the inside towards the knee, under the kneecap.
Mm-hmm. It's the one I
Mine went
tore.
around my kneecap, and I had to have surgery. This was in 1979 when I was a junior in high school. Ended up a whole summer with a full cast from my upper thigh to my ankle for almost 3 months. And it's never been the same since. And Michaela, tell your critique partner to stop fighting you on it, because I think you could not only get another book, but you might get another series out of it if you do it the way you want to do it.
And well, I
So
see the
anyway,
problem here. She said she was really excited about a twist in the story, but my critique partner won't let me. She thinks it'll ruin her career.
no.
And I had a really good shower playtime scene, dang it. Ask Brian and Carl to go over that and see. I guarantee you that the story will change on that.
Now you got to remember, Michaela and her partner have been working together for quite a long time, and they've got a long string of successes here. So
Oh, wait, no. I ain't gonna, oh, darn it. The green screen effect.
talk about
Boy.
the Invisible Man.
That too.
No, I was thinking.
I thought he was pulling down the cone of silence or something.
I was working on it.
No, I was about to say, look at the rocket on that in that animation. Sorry, Heather.
That one. There we go. There we go. There.
Yep, that's a knee.
That's a knee. Right there.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm having. Oh yeah, I have a poster of the entire human skeleton somewhere in the house.
This is just a little pamphlet I brought back from the doctor's office.
I'm trying to figure out right now what's going on with my computer
You can always use it for a bed sheet.
from the doctor.
Who's the printer on that, John? Anatomical Chart Company.
Some guy named Gulliver.
Larry Flint.
No. I promise you, Larry Flint never published pictures of skeletons.
Henderson Publishing Limited.
Henderson. Okay. Anatomical Chart Company has those. They also do the skeletons and the joints and all that. They found out their secondary market is haunted houses. They sell more of the anatomical skeletons during run up for the Halloween season than they do to hospitals and med schools and doctors' offices.
I may have to get one of those. I'm looking to build a back porch. I want to put a skeleton just barely sticking out of the ground underneath it so that long after I'm gone, somebody tears the porch down to remodel the house that they bought.
I wonder if you could cut your plumbing bill by doing that up underneath the house when the plumber goes underneath there and he's like,
Nope, because I'm the plumber that has to go underneath the house.
No, that's when I break out that big latex spider I've got that has like a 4-foot leg span.
did I tell you about, we were sitting there cleaning weapons in Iraq. Of course, everybody's scared to death of camel spiders. So I'm sitting here, pipe cleaners, cleaning all this stuff. And I accidentally, somebody shook the table while they were trying to put a weapon back together. My coffee spilled. It spilled all over these pipe cleaners. So I had to wipe all this stuff up to the side. I'm like, I'll drive the pipe cleaners. They'll come in handy for something.
Where'd
wound up-
Heather go? Oh, she computer problems. There she is.
I was having network problems.
Oh,
You sound better now too.
Yeah, you guys look better.
well, thank you.
Well,
You're actually moving.
Oh well.
Damn, got my hopes up there for a second. No.
I was trying to figure out. I've got a new computer. I bought this computer back in November. I've not used it for anything real yet. So I was trying to figure out if it was the computer or if it was the internet, and it was the internet.
I was looking at computers at Costco today. Just wanted to see what they had. They had a Dell gaming computer. I was like, if I can't remember, it was $14.99 or $17.99 for this, just the box and the keyboard gaming computer kind of. And I was like, well, that's a lot of money. I was looking at it, and it's got a decent graphics card, so like that. But the hard drive is old school.
IDE?
It's just a regular run-of-the-mill hard drive, but everything now is going to solid state drives, flash card drives.
That's what I've got.
And I'm like, get with the times, Del. Come on. Now, what's funny is right next to it was like a little home business computer. Had an SSD drive in it.
I bought my new laptop at Electronics Boutique, and it is an Asus ROC, and it's like maxed out. Like, it's got the 3090 graphics card, it's got the 16 gig of RAM, it's got the 1 terabyte SSD, the 144 hertz refresh rate on the monitor. Like, this is a gaming computer.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
I paid $15 for it. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to take that one. It's got the 17-inch screen. The only thing it didn't have was a camera. And I'm like, I've already got a camera. I'll just hook it up.
That's another thing. A lot of the games now have this interesting feature called face over IP. And what you turn on your camera, you turn on face over IP, and it's kind of cool. If you're playing a first-person shooter game and you're running your character through the game and you turn your head, your camera detects it and turns where your character's looking in the game. So as you're playing the game, you can actually do this, and your character looks around on the screen.
Isn't that kind of like how Skunk's avatar works?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think he has to do exaggerated moves for his avatar to move just a little bit.
Right. I think, I'm kind of surprised Skunk isn't on the show tonight.
Yeah.
Skunk, you out there, boy?
So I was walking outside today. I tell you about my neighbor that I use his Wi-Fi. And he was talking to me about how he's needing his get a new debit card because this guy is a recluse. He has groceries delivered to him. The only time you see him outside is to smoke because you can't smoke in the apartments. And he says, he goes, my debit card is going to expire at the end of the month, and I haven't gotten a new one yet in the mail, and now I'm starting to freak out because I got to use that to pay bills with, and I don't want them to shut off my internet or anything. I said, well, you can't shut off your internet. I got a show tonight. He started laughing. I said, if you need me to take you up there, I'll take you up there right now. And if he wasn't such a recluse, I'm sure he'd probably go. But it's the banks that are in Walmart's, Woodfield or Wood Forest or something like that. In our Walmarts we have here, they have these little banks for people, I guess, that can't shop at a normal bank or something. I'm not sure what the reason for them are, but why did they have anything else in a Walmart, And so anyway, I said, well, did you call them? And he said, yes, but I get these automated things and I don't have the patience for it. And I said, well, you're going to have to learn to have the patience and go through all the prompts. You'll get to talk to somebody, but it may not be right away. And I said, and if you want my help in doing that too, I'll help you in doing that. But he seemed to think that, well, since we're only about halfway through the month, that he said that it may come in yet. So I'm like, okay, but
John, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot something. Right before we brought Heather in, I should have done this.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
That would have been much better.
It's okay.
It's been so long since we've had an old timer drop in, Heather. I forgot to do it.
he called you old.
So who's excited for LibertyCon? Are you guys not going?
I'm going.
I might go. I don't have the money.
I'm just day tripping.
I don't have the money.
Sorry.
I don't have a ticket, and I haven't
I
been
don't
asked to
even know if they
volunteer.
have any. I don't even know if they have any memberships.
I don't think they do. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I have no rights to do any of it.
Me either.
I mean,
Wait a
John.
minute. Wait a minute. Where's Dan?
I can't. I don't see
You
the
rang.
bottom of my screen.
somebody hit the horsey thing and nobody's in here. I had both hands on screen.
I got both my hands on my chair or something.
I don't have administrator rights.
I'm not going to tell you where my hands were because I was in the bathroom, all right?
Just as long as you washed them.
Yeah. Lindsay's about to go to bed. I'm going to wait until she decides that she can go to sleep, and I'll have to turn off the on-the-air light in the hallway. She doesn't want me to turn it off right now because, I might need to walk down the hallway. And I'm going, honey, I've got like 16 flashlights back here. I think I can make do.
You don't know the house by now?
Yet he has cats.
This is true.
Yeah.
There might be a landmine I don't want to step on.
I literally in my bedroom cannot walk 3 feet without finding a flashlight.
Mm.
Well, that's cool. Hell, I like that flashlight. I didn't know it did that.
I've got one all the time. In fact, this is the flashlight that I look to use down people's throats.
Mm. Thank you for doing that.
Has those worm lights.
I forgot to get my cell phone out of my wallet here so that I can take it to the bedroom and use it for an alarm clock in the morning. If I'm not asleep in my chair, it's not going to do me a lot of good in this room.
Yeah.
And seeing as how I would like to sleep in the bed tonight,
Oh.
and for some reason I'm not in the doghouse. Yeah,
So
I need
how much snow did you get up there, Heather?
Right about 5 inches. It
We
didn't
got-
shut us down though.
We got 2 inches, but but it didn't stick on any of the roads. It's pretty to look at. You can still drive around, and I got the dogs all wound up to run out in their first snow.
Where's that picture?
The two big dogs took off running out in the snow, did their business, and ran back in the house. 2 little dogs are like, no, this ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take a picture with my camera because I've got a security camera at the front door. I didn't take a picture of it because
Didn't
I'm
think
not
about
allowed to
it.
post pictures of my driveway right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm not allowed to ask you why right now.
No, details come later. Details
Okay.
come
Okay.
later. You'll.
No,
It's good.
we didn't get anything but mud. And it didn't fall from the sky. It just kind of spontaneously combusted from the ground up. It rained like nobody's business.
Can you guys
That's
see
what it's going
that?
to do here tomorrow.
We see something, bunch of colors.
Come on, focus.
Trees.
That's the diamond painting I'm working on right now.
Oh,
Ah,
okay.
That line, everything to the orange, red, and purple I've done, and the other ones I hadn't. That was last week. I've got the green tree done now. I've started on the blue. That's what I do now is diamond paint.
What is diamond paint?
Okay, so it's kind of sort of like color by numbers,
Yeah.
except you're taking little resin squares or circles that are shaped like gems,
Yeah.
and you're sticking them to this glue on the canvas.
okay.
Oh, okay.
It's really, really nice to do because it's like you've got this thing and you've got the little symbols and you're putting it in the symbols and it makes it all nice and 3D and pretty and
I
it
was about to say,
shines. I've got a couple of them that I've done. They're on my Facebook page.
So it's almost kind of like what people do with tile, different colored tiles, and
or stained
back
glass.
in the day. Yeah. Trees.
That's the diamond painting. That's one I've done.
That looks
Oh,
familiar.
Focus.
There you go.
John, was it you that posted
Yeah.
the video of the John Deere tractors headed from
Yeah.
into Ukraine?
Hey, that guy looks
Mm.
familiar too.
I love Stitch.
What?
That's what I do. I've got one that's a custom that I ordered of that picture. Come on, focus. That's
Is
for
that
my
you?
wedding.
I was just in the middle of asking, is that you and your husband?
Come on, focus, focus, focus.
I want to say I could see two people holding hands looking at each other.
Yeah.
So
Sort of
didn't
looks
think
like
it was a divorce.
I ordered that one from China, and it's a custom diamond painting. So
It
they
looks-
sent me. Go ahead.
he looks like Bradley Cooper there.
He has a short
Like
beard there.
that.
Do what, Heather?
He has a short beard there.
Yeah.
He's now got.
Mm.
It's a good 3 inches long now.
Just as long as there are no birds or anything taking up residence in it.
No.
Nope.
Like
No woodland
like
it's
it.
like shaped, and he goes and he gets it cut at the barber and everything. He's got beard oil that he puts in it, and he uses special shampoos for it. Like he takes care of this beard.
What?
I was just wondering whether or not he was actually one of the actors in Lord of the Rings playing a dwarf, or if he takes that much care of his beard. That seems like it would be something they would do.
He's a little too tall to be a dwarf.
Never can tell.
Well, what? John Rhys Davies, one of them?
Yeah, and
Yes.
he's 6 something.
Okay.
It's all about camera angles.
Yeah, really.
In CGI.
Well, no, it was more perspective. So,
Forced perspective.
yeah, thank you, Joe.
Okay.
That's exactly what it was. They would put the characters that are supposed to be small further away from the camera, but they'd build the stage so everything overlapped from the view of the camera, so that you would have people that are supposed to be human sized or taller right up front. You'd have hobbits and dwarves a little further back, and it would all be in the same shot. And because of the forced perspective, you got the illusion of tiny people and medium sized people and large people all in the same frame. Some of the people that built those sets to do that on really do not get enough recognition, because that's not an easy thing to get right.
And some of them are still having twitches and shakes and nightmares.
Probably. Although Viggo Mortensen did buy his horse after the movies ended filming, so
Isn't that the one that broke his foot kicking the helmet?
I'm
Yes.
not. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, he did. He did. The horse didn't do it. Viggo did.
Yeah.
Yep, but yeah, he fell in love with the horse pretty much. Didn't want to part with it, and bought it off of the owner after the movies all finished filming.
That happens a lot with animals, dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I can understand why too.
Yeah, well, even the Walking Dead series, they've got dog, Belgian Malinois, whatever. The dog pays more attention to the actor than he does the trainer, and
Yeah.
and when series wraps, he's taking the dog. You know, the trainer goes, no, you can't take the dog. He says, well, you just better figure out how much I owe you, because I'm taking the dog. I'm taking dog.
And if you don't like it, the dog might have something to say about it. All right.
No, it's the guy from Boondock Saints. He's taking the dog.
Oh,
Oh,
so many things like that happen behind the scenes in movies that we never find out about until somebody decides to do some sort of special about nothing but behind the scenes.
and I'll tell you, one of the best Burt Reynolds movies were the best to give you the blooper reel.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the ones with him and Dom DeLuise both in it. He'd tear up Dom, get him laughing so bad he could not control anything.
And you know how he got him back in line? He'd reach up and yank a nose hair.
Oh, God. That'll do it.
Oh, Lord.
That's why you'll see a lot of the bloopers when Dom gets cracked up real bad and Bert looks at him and he covers his face. That's to keep him from pulling the nose hair out. It's one thing to pull your own nose hair loose. It's completely different when somebody else does it.
Oh.
I'll take your word for it.
I really need to get some updated pictures. I'm like going through trying to find a picture of my husband with his beard the way it is now, and I don't have a single picture of it. They're all too short.
It's a shame that you don't have like some electronic device with like a camera in it.
I know.
It's just, like walk up.
That you carry with you all the time.
Well, she could go into PixArt and superimpose a picture of ZZ Top's beard and just kind of place that over her husband's shorter beard.
Because this is it shorter. It's longer than that now.
He does have that Bradley Cooper look there.
She smiled again.
Bradley Cooper does not look bad.
That's what I'm saying.
My husband does not look bad.
Mhm.
Ask Brandy.
I don't want to know. Dan, get your mind out of the gutter.
No,
He made a
I'm
comment at a Christmas party about he looked good.
I was just remembering incidents from my own life where um, surprising things happened.
Michaela saying, don't feel too bad. She rarely takes pictures of her and her husband.
I rarely do.
Oh,
And then I've got an updated picture of my son. It'll focus. Come on, focus. I
Is your
can't get it
son
to
in
focus.
focus? Okay.
No. I'm trying to
Hocus
get there. It
pocus.
is.
there you go. Oh,
They do in the Navy, Christmas, all of the people who are in A school that in the Great Lakes, they do what's called mass exodus for Christmas, and they let them go home for 2 weeks. And that was him waiting to get board his plane to go back to the Great Lakes with his new girlfriend.
oh.
So
You don't like her, huh?
I don't know her. I have nothing against her. I just I'm gonna get to meet her hopefully. He is graduating FC A school, and then he gets from May 16th to June 1st off before he goes to C school in San Diego.
FC, what is that, fire control?
Yep, fire controlman. He's going to be doing CWIF.
What?
I think that's what it's called.
R2D2.
Yep, that's what he's going to get to do. And he goes to San Diego to do his C school.
The one on the ship is called a Sea Whiz. The one that they put on a trailer and put on a base for base defense is called a Sea Ram. Basically the same thing, just one of them's on a truck.
He's really excited about it. But he told me that he wanted to bring his girlfriend when he came up to stay with me. And I was just like, I don't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool learning. I'm cool getting to meet her.
Is that the one that goes, it should be mounted on the nose of an A-10?
No, it's smaller than that, actually.
Oh. But fires about as fast?
Faster, actually.
Oh.
Mm.
So all it does is throw up a wall of lead.
It does more than that, but yeah.
What'd you say, Heather?
I'm looking to see if I can find a picture of it.
I've got one coming up right now, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
There you go. Because when he told me the ones that he was putting in for, I went and looked them all up. Because they give him a wish list. He gets to fill out his wish list of where he wants to get stationed and what he wants to do. And he's really excited that he got San Diego because he said that he hears good things about San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's what he'll be doing right there.
Yeah, for a long time, he'll probably be the guy loading the ammunition.
Let me see if I let's next picture. There you go. There's the fun part.
That's a big old drum there.
Yes.
I bet it don't take that thing long to empty one of those either.
Nope.
They fire them in bursts. Yeah, the Somali pirates have really found out how effective they are.
Briefly. Once you use one of those on a Somali pirate boat, you have trouble finding splinters afterwards.
No, really, it don't sink them. They're pretty sturdy craft. The guys just don't survive it. They give them 3 shots across the bow, then they zero in.
Bring it up, Joe.
it got audio?
I think so. Oh wait, might help if I did that. Did you see how fast it went back to rest?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, dropping it down just to make sure.
Yep. Instead of R2D2, of course, it probably didn't exist when people started calling that R2D2. It reminds me of the bounty hunter droid in Mandalorian.
Hey, Zach, how you doing, bud? Oh, 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 Heather, you missed it. They did a full stack cryo test last night.
I saw part of it before I went to bed.
Uh,
I really do try to keep up with what's going on down there.
it just changes so fast you can't keep up with it no more.
Well, not just that, but I work crazy.
Well, miss a few updates and you're a month behind.
Yep.
And yeah, Zach says it was a long, incredible day. Yeah. Watching the rollout of the SLS. John, slide out of the way. See, John's already got
We
pictures.
haven't heard about it. Yeah.
I can't wait to see SLS launch.
Well, they're worried about it.
Well, I'm worried about it too.
Yeah.
It wasn't
course-
doing too good in its testing.
Yeah. Well, the Zach could sort of help us with this, but the only thing SLS has going for it is it's all legacy equipment.
Yep.
But very few rockets make it to orbit on its first launch.
This is true.
The last one NASA had or make orbit on its first flight was Shuttle. And Shuttle never flew unmanned. Shuttle was the first NASA rocket to launch untested with humans.
And we see how that went.
Well,
Like, I know that for the first little while it was getting successful,
Yeah.
but they did lose 2 shuttles.
Yeah.
Out of how many launches?
Very true.
Well, they actually said, I've heard somebody say that we should have lost more.
Yeah. If you
Of course.
watch the whole Challenger documentary on Netflix, yeah we should have lost more. We're very, very lucky.
Yeah. And Zach is right. Sadly, both were avoidable.
Yes. Like I said, watch the Challenger documentary on Netflix. It's
They
a good
could-
watch.
They could have limped Columbia over to the space station. They'd have had to go into emergency ration modes, but they could have got them home.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020.
I'm
It is-
kind of interested to see how this whole thing's going to be when we have to bring our astronaut back home that rode up on a
He's-
Soyuz.
He's going home with the Russians. They got it worked out. So,
They did.
yes.
Yeah, they're bringing him back to Earth. They ain't said they're going to let him out of Russia.
See, I think he should come back on a dragon. The dragon's got the space.
Yeah. Marcus Silver, he's part of Zach's launch pad crew. Says engineers warned not to launch Challenger, but they still did.
Yeah.
Of course, you know what's blowing everybody's mind about Starship is a little over 3.5 years ago, it was a carbon fiber and looked completely different. And what we've seen has changed half dozen times since.
If only a half a dozen times.
Yeah.
'cause I saw the last picture of the stacked one that they just stacked, and looking at the it's completely different than it was a year ago.
Yeah.
It looks really nice.
See, that's the great thing about SpaceX. They ain't got to listen to Congress saying you got to buy all these parts from here and here and here, over here and over there.
No, he just makes them all himself.
Yeah.
But he is got a good track record.
Yeah. And Greg Kiesla is just popped in. Hello, Greg. I recognize the
Greg.
name. Is that one of the Uncle Carl's group?
No, he was originally with United Weather Network.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. I hate to do this, but I gotta go. It's bedtime.
Well, we only got 12 more minutes, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you popped in, Heather. You know you're always welcome.
We have missed you.
And a lot of people have been asking about you.
I'm well. I'm doing better than I was a couple months ago. I have found my stride. I'm just tired all the time.
Yeah.
But that's the life of a nurse.
Oh,
yes.
and
Sadly, that's normal. Yeah.
and you missed it. I spent about 7 weeks off the show with COVID.
I saw that. And I'm very sorry.
Uh,
I have been a COVID nurse for 2 runs, and I've yet to catch it somehow.
well, I got it at Chattacon. That's why I'm sort of gun shy going to conventions.
I am the same way, but I spend most of my time outside anyways,
Yeah.
so I'm not too worried.
Well, I'm thinking of one of 3 people it came from. So, who also came down with it before they got home.
Because,
I told you not to French kiss that dog.
I buy my own beer and I hang
Well,
out.
Drunk,
in
and
the-
she looked cute. All right.
I know. You got this thing for huskies.
Yep. Let's not. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just cleared out half the channel. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Greg. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg. Glad you're here. On that note, are you out here, Heather? Or are you going to hang around for just a couple more minutes?
Couple more minutes. My
Okay.
husband's putting laundry in. He's about to come to bed.
Oh.
It's St. Patrick's Day. We got to have somebody named Heather hanging around.
Red hair.
There you go.
I got the Irish in me.
That works too.
Wasn't that a song
Damn.
by Kiki D?
Excuse me. I
I
didn't
should
mean
have thought
anything
before I
bad by
spoke.
it.
It's late, okay?
I didn't mean anything bad by it. Joe Dog just naturally jumped to the wrong conclusion.
Typo, Heather. Yep.
She
Heather-
called you Heston.
Heather, you probably heard this
Hester.
more than we've heard it down here. But apparently, Russia found some gear that some National Guardsmen had left in Ukraine before they all evacuated, and it was from they found gear from 3 Tennessee Army National Guardsmen, and said that they had been killed in fighting, and the bodies were so mutilated, all they could find was their gear. And it's like Tennessee National Guard's like, no, they're standing over here. Wave it's wave everybody.
They just left some junk behind.
Apparently, one of them somehow or another forgot a backpack or rucksack, and had a Tennessee state flag in it. So, Russia really needs to have another revolution, because the last one was what 1916, 1901 and 1918, 20 years, something like that.
Yeah. Been 100 years. It's about time for another
It's
one.
about time for another one. Who's the famous statesman that said a revolution every now and then is good?
Thomas Jefferson.
Was that Thomas Jefferson? I'm
Ow.
seeing something today. They think somebody's poisoned Vladimir Putin. All right.
Yeah, I heard he's been hospitalized.
Or he's suffering from roid rage. You see those pictures of him with his shirt off because he's so self-conscious about his physique.
No. What I'm thinking is, all those people that he's been sending out as agents, and they're killing the guys. They're putting nerve gas on their door handles and stuff like that and killing them. I think somebody's giving Putin a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah. Well, you heard about poor Chuck Norris, didn't you? Got bit by a rattlesnake.
That poor snake.
Yeah. After 3 days of agonizing pain, the snake finally died.
You really, Joe? We're just going to go out and take you to Books A Million or something, and buy you some new joke books, okay? We're going to go through your house. We're going to dig out all the old joke books, and we're going to dump them over at McKay's.
You think he gets these from a book?
I don't think they'd pay for any of his joke books after this show. Okay. They'd be
All
like,
right.
nope, we heard them all. Go.
We've heard them all 5 or 6 times.
You know that big crate they got out front for the junk books they don't want to buy? That's where your joke books are going, pal.
Yeah.
Okay. They're going to tear the...
That
toss it in that box.
Oh, you're not even going to bypass. You're not even going through the front desk. You're just going to throw them in the box and leave.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'm headed for the other channel.
So, let's go ahead and sort of wrap it up because I am just about give out, guys.
It's
Seriously.
about that time anyway.
Yeah, I have an early day tomorrow.
Heather's got a new boyfriend.
She just rolled over. She's like, rub my belly.
And we
Oh,
went.
Dan, I don't know if you got anybody coming for Last Man, but man, I can't hang tonight.
Wouldn't worry about it. If nobody shows up, I'll vamp for a few minutes and then shut it down. It's not like it's going to save the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we went a whole show with no bots.
Yeah,
We
really.
still got 3 minutes.
Hey, like I said,
They'll
they
come
can-
to Dan's.
But they've all been drafted.
Yeah.
all right. With that, it's that time. Let's just go ahead and say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye,
Night,
Candias,
everybody.
amigos.
Oh, I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.